Okay, Timothy Daniel Remis, playing drums for the Cloakroom, region rat extraordinaires. I'm a Chicago boy myself, but I've been adopted into the northwest region of Indiana as kind of a prodigal son of sorts. So the loving embrace of the Cloakroom boys has really made me feel at home in a beautiful band of sound and majesty. This is the kit. This is an old Ludwig, 80s Ludwig kit that I cut a few inches off both ends of the bass drum and redid the bearing edges and then painted this weird cultural appropriation kind of like, I don't know, poncho of sorts. The name of the kit is the Adobe Wolf. Yeah, so this thing was an absolute cannon before I got my hands on it. It was like 22 inches deep or something like that. And I wanted to leave the remaining, like the inner holes that I could use as the outer holes. So there wasn't an exact science to how much I cut off. It was just more because I'm not good at dimensional math and wouldn't know how to like re-drill holes like equally throughout. So it ended up being something like in the, I guess like probably 14 or maybe closer to 15 inches deep. I just like the like slap of a shallower bass drum. I think largely because Chris Metcalf from Life and Times, like just seeing him play, he's got this like old like Slingerland or Ludwig that used to be, I think, like a marching band bass drum, and I always loved he'd have like a resonant head without the hole in it, and usually a black dot for the beater head, and just the slap of it, like the really cool, like it's very like organic and like true drum sounding versus like the sound of like someone punching a slab of meat or just this like low end kind of thud thing. So I like. Try to get a little more presence out of my bass drum, and I just like the way it feels, like the with the actual pedal. I think it just feels better to have a bigger drum and a shallower drum. I didn't mod the rack. The rack's a 14-12, I think, and this is an 18-16. I like tighter feeling heads, but but to accomplish like a lower tone and have the playability of more tightly tuned heads, I go with bigger drums to accomplish that, so I can still get a good low end out of this floor tom, but I don't have to have it like sloppy, tuned all sloppy and like thuddy. So I still get like a good low end out of the floor tom and still kind of have like a more playable drum kit, like I can move around on it quicker and it's not all just like, Snare's an Emperor. It was originally the shell, the tub was a bison tub that these guys got from like a crazy like estate sale or something. I think like when Mitch moved out west, I think he got rid of a lot of his like rough drum stuff. So like this would have been a bison snare drum, and then was turned into an Emperor, and I've beaten the living shit out of it. It's all like I got these like lug screws from the wrong shit, and like we had to fix this snare drum in like Vermont on the last tour. We went to this like weird hardware store and like had to drill everything out. So it's only a fragment. It's like a Frankenstein fragment of the original glory that it once was. I kind of like thinking about switching to like metal, like a copper or like some kind of metal snare drum just for the projection of it. But this has like a good crack and still has like a good low end, and super playable. Yeah, this is like a vintage coated Emperor, like the 2-ply. It's kind of warm. Again, like I play it super tight, so it's playable. So it's like I'm not working a lot to like do ghost notes and like softer stuff. And I think it has like a good darkness to it. These are those black dot like control sounds. I just always call them black dots. I guess they're controlled, CS controlled sound. That's just like, I don't know, kind of like probably, more or less that's what Bonham played. So I think a lot of guys that play bigger size drums kind of gravitate towards these black dots. Yeah, again, like I think like recording wise, I'd probably prefer like a coated Emperor or something, but like these play live a lot better, and they have a lot more like presence and like projection without sounding like cheesy or something. So this is an old 21A, a Zildjian A that a friend gave me. My friend Jason gave me this. I had a crack in it, so I drummeled it out. It sounds pretty good. This is a what is that? It's just that Chinese company, the Bliss or whatever. It's a 24 medium. I get rid of the labels with like paint thinner because I just kind of like the way it looks to have it naked. This is a Wuhan 20 Ride Crash that I got off some guy on Craigslist that I really like. It kind of like has a really long resonance to the hit, and it kind of like has this almost effect that you accomplish with like reverb or a lot of like room miking in the studio, but it kind of does it on its own in like a live setting. Yeah, these are these prototype Pisces. They're just kind of warm, dark, big 15s, kind of like medium size. They're like whatever 1650 gram bottom and whatever the top is, but yeah, you know, big guy, big hits, like a lot of room. I don't want like small shit that I'm gonna miss and break. Yeah, stands are mismatched bullshit. It's all just it's the lightest shit I can do, like without breaking it. Like, you know, no double bracing when I can avoid it. And I'm fucking with these Vader rocks. They're a little bit like a railroad tie, or like just kind of like unfinished lumber, but like without overplaying. If I'm not overplaying, they like lend themselves really well to like a good sound. They kind of like do a lot of the work. As long as you can like work with them. It's like this thing where you can be fighting sticks this size and it'll fucking end your life. But like if you kind of work with them and let them work for you, they can be cool. Like I use these guys a lot. These mallets for different things. But yeah, I guess the main thing of these rocks are like just like any like 2B, but the rocks are a little longer usually than a 2B. So, or sometimes I fuck with those fatbacks, the Vader fatbacks, because they like have a longer shoulder that gives it more like an even like swing, I guess. Oh yeah, I got these guys too. I'm gonna fuck with these. Wicked Pistons. That's what I got tonight. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if they make it into the set. Pedal's an old Pearl. Honestly, I had a Pearl double bass. This one might be, I might have stolen that from Larry from Pelican. I'm not sure. It's possible that this might have been something he threw away when he got like an Axis pedal or like some cool like titanium pedal. But I've always just loved the Pearl. These Pearl, I guess I don't know if they're exports or what they are. But they're, you know, I got a pretty tight like crank on the spring on it. I'm not leaving much up to like finesse. It's kind of like got like it comes back quick. The throw on it's pretty solid. Like I stretched the beater out pretty far from the machine. So the new record's gonna be out on Relapse. So go to the Relapse website and get that credit card out. You'll probably be on some cool colored vinyl. I don't know. It's gonna look awesome, sound awesome. Relapse, Cloakroom.